Hello. Thanks for agreeing to set up this interview. As you know, we only have a short amount of time, so let's go ahead and get started right away.
All right, let's do it.
Now, I know that you've been involved in some work on community issues.
hmm
Can you tell me what attracted you to the community issue that you chose at the beginning of the semester?
yes, of course. My community issue at the beginning of this semester was concussion sports, specifically youth sports, to see the long and short term effects that it can have on the kids that play the game. I was kind of looking for something that maybe people don't know about it, something a little more serious that can happen, so I could just spread that word a little bit. I picked it because I was in a lot of youth sports as a kid, and I've had a concussion or two, and I know that they're no fun. Um, so I just want to get the word out on what they're actually like.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Now, your materials also said that you were involved in a community issue team project that focused on a call to action. Can you share with me what call to action your team put forward and why you chose that call to action?
Oh yeah, our call to action. What we did, we took my original topic, concussion sports, but we took it a step farther to NFL players, looking at their long and short term effects, some effects on retired players, and some of the damages, the brain damage that they get. And our call to action was just for NFL fans to step up and tell the NFL that it's not okay. This should not be happening. Players should not be getting this hurt. Um, and we picked it, as I said, just because um, football's a fun sport, and a lot of people don't like to look at this dark side of it. So we wanted to get the word out.
I see. Now, if I were to ask the other members of your team what they think your biggest strength is, what do you think they would say, and why do you think they would say it?
I think if you ask my team members, they would say that my greatest strength would be um, taking idea and putting it into word form, a more fluent, just a more easy to say, easy to relate to the audience, conversational form. My partner, he was great at finding raw materials and um, just finding great sources and having a good idea on what he wants to say. But for me, or I stepped in most of the time to actually write the material that he brought to the table. And I think he really appreciated that. I think it went smoothly, and I think we got a good project overall at the end.
Okay, great. What for you was the most challenging thing about working with your team?
The most challenging thing I would have to say would just be up on our communication, be talking about what we want in the paper, what we want to keep out of the paper, um, meeting times, just getting together, figuring out what sources we're going to use, who's going to say what, and all of that stuff. Um, I think my partner would agree. We worked together as a team. We had great communication, um, but we just had to focus on making sure that everything was exactly the way we want it to be.
Thank you. Okay, last question. In 30 seconds or so, tell me what your biggest takeaway was from Com 110 this semester. What will stick with you and be useful to you?
My biggest takeaway from Com was a great class. It helped me out a lot. My biggest takeaway would just be the overall presentation factor of it, the actual getting up in front of an audience, saying your speech, saying what you need to say, adapting, answering questions if you need to. Because in high school, I had the writing part down and the project skills down. It was just more the presentation for me, and Com 110 helped me. If you look at my first speech to my last speech, my eye contact improved. My speech just fluently saying the words, not stuttering or using gap fillers like that they just vastly improved over the three speeches.
All right. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me. We'll probably be in touch with you in the next few weeks or so. Take care.
You too.